Hello and welcome to this preview of my fall 2022 teaching schedule. So all of my classes are available live, but as usual, if anything that you buy, you will get emailed a link to watch the video and read the notes afterwards. And you also have full access to ask questions after the fact, right on the website. So even if you can't be there live, all of these lessons will work very well on the replay. So this fall, I'm really happy with the topics. We're kind of all over the map. On the Tuesday Master Series classes, I'm really filling in the last few holes before we have a pretty complete structure of a system. And then on Friday, on the Friday classes, I'm kind of going all over the place. A little bit of defense, a little bit of declare play, and just some more competitive bidding stuff that I really feel is worth going through. So now let's break them down one by one. So to get to this page where you can purchase the classes, you just come to wolpertbridge.com and you click this upcoming classes button right at the top of the website. And then right here, you can see here which time zone the classes are listed in. I think that'll realize where you are, and it might change. But so here you can see it's listed in Eastern time. So the Friday classes are at 1 o'clock, and the Tuesday classes are at 3:30 p.m. So let's go through them. We're starting Friday, September 16th, with Michael's and Unusual Tuno Trump. Now this class is not going to teach people from scratch Michael's and Unusual Tuno Trump. I'm assuming the people that are coming to this class already know Michael's and Unusual Tuno Trump. And this is going to be more about describing to you which hands to be entering with, when to be entering it, how the vulnerability affects it. I'm going to talk about the fundamental difference between one club, two clubs, where both of our suits are biddable at the 2 level, versus one spade, 2 spades, where both of our bids are forced to the 3 level, and how the different ranges for those two different actions. And also, I'm kind of going to get rid of the myth of mini-maxi. It's not the right way to play mini-maxi. We should totally be more based on vulnerability and what our plan is about sacrificing. So we'll go through which hands to enter with. We'll talk about good methods for following up. And we'll also just talk about reacting to partners. Michael's an Unusual Tuno Trump, because I find people are not really aggressive enough with fits, and just understanding when to jump and when not. And how the vulnerability will really affect your partner's range, and therefore should affect your range as the responder. So that's going to be a really valuable class to anybody who already knows Michael's an Unusual Tuno Trump and really wants to understand better how to use it. So then the Tuesday Master Series, the next class will be, it starts September 20th at 3:30. We're going to go through reverse jury and past and the rest of the past hand response structure. Now again, I'm not going to teach, if you don't know jury, you might struggle with this class. I'm more going to be talking about how to use it. Like, I've found in my experience that people are not aggressive enough to bid reverse jury. So I'm going to talk about why we should be expanding the range for jury, and how to kind of react to jury, knowing that partner could be a little bit lighter than waiting for that perfect 11 count to bid jury, because I find people are definitely not aggressive enough. And then we'll also talk about the rest of the past hand structure. I'll talk a little bit about fit showing jumps by past hands, and we'll talk about just how jury affects the rest of our 2/1 structure. All right, so then our second Friday class is going to be called Count as a Secondary Signal. So this is the beginning of talking about secondary signals. Now, primary signals are we give attitude on our partner's lead, and we give count on declarer's lead. But sometimes our primary signal isn't important, and or is already going to be known, and then we're going to switch to our secondary signals. So this class is going to kind of talk through that, and we're really going to focus on one particular situation, and that is at trick 1 against no trump, when we can't win the trick, when we can't try to win the trick, when it's obvious that we don't like a suit, that we switch to count. And so this class will kind of go through, we'll talk through the concept of secondary signals, and then we will really dig into some practice on one very specific situation, and that is when the dummy wins the trick with a pretty reasonably low card that we're going to give count, and then we're going to kind of have a chance to practice that concept with a partner. And so if you are there live, you can bring a partner. The ones that list Shark Bridge here we're going to use Shark Bridge. So that for the defense class that says Shark Bridge here, you can bring a partner and practice with your partner, or you can just watch it live on the replay also. So then we're going to get into 2 club opening response structure. So there's actually not a lot new Not a lot of new mechanics to two club openers, even for experts. This is for the Master Series, but I am going to go through the expert standard system over two clubs. I'm going to talk about Kokish Relay. I'm going to talk about what it means to jump to 3 of a major, like 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 3 of a major, and just go through all different problem options and common mistakes that people make over 2 clubs, and really kind of try to refine our system there in that class. Then the next Friday class will be capitalizing on honor leads, and you can see here the level for this one's a little bit lower. Each one has a level listed, and you can see the levels. You can see that we have 1 through 10, and kind of there are only 3 fundamentals, intermediate, or advanced, but I'm by kind of showing that they're level 6, we're saying it's for the higher intermediates, and anybody's welcome to the classes, but I'm just trying to give you a gauge so that you don't come to the wrong class if it's too weak for you or too strong for you. Either one is probably not great, so I'm just trying to guide you with the levels. The capitalizing on honor leads is just going to be like when our opponents lead from a sequence, really processing what their lead means and how to kind of take advantage of it and take finesses for them for the other honors. But also, we're going to talk about when they lead a card that isn't from a sequence, like an honor card that we can tell is not from a sequence, like they lead the jack and we're holding the 10, and then we know that it's not a sequence. So we're going to talk about how to capitalize them. This you'll get a chance to actually practice through and click through and play the hands and experience that process of capitalizing on honor leads. Then on Tuesday, we're going to dealing with preempts. This is going to be a really big class. There's lots of stuff going on in this class. We're going to talk about Lebensal, although I'm not going to teach it from scratch. I'm going to assume you have some knowledge of Lebensal. We're going to talk about leaping Michaels. We're going to talk about regular Michaels. We're going to just talk about all different things about when to come in over preempts. We'll talk about bidding over 3-level preempts, just how uncomfortable it is, and yeah, I think that'll be a great class. Then we're going to go to, on Friday, October 7th. So one of the things that I noticed in my practice classes when I was teaching is that people don't really understand when to reopen, both as opener or as responder, because in modern days we can't make penalty doubles. Most of our doubles are takeout or negative doubles, and so when we want to get penalties, we kind of have to pass and hope our partner makes a takeout double, and then we can pass and convert it to penalty doubles. So this is going to just discuss when opener should reopen, when responder should pass the reopening double, and just how to get people for penalties in this, with takeout doubles in a modern takeout double world. Okay, then Tuesday we're going to deal with dealing with Michaels and unusual 2-no trump. This is a really important concept where we're going to refine the convention of unusual versus unusual. We're going to talk about going for blood. This is really important. We've already talked about going for blood last season when we did the going for blood classes. Now we're going to take it to another level. We're going to show how to reuse that concept here against Michaels, because getting your opponents for numbers when they Michaels or unusual 2-no trump there's a lot of those to be had. So you want to be looking for those, and we'll just kind of talk through how to set up the similar situation that we talked about in going for blood. Then really, I'm really excited for this class, although it's going to be a tough one to put together. This is the concept of defensive urgency. I just see people trying to grab their tricks too quickly, and sometimes there's no urgency to do that, and you're actually helping declare. So I'm going to talk about the idea of passive versus active defense, but also just understanding, are my tricks going away? Is there a reason for me to do this right away? And we'll kind of go through this, and also we will. As we talked about in end plays and frozen suits, there are some suits that we don't want to break for declare, and so we're kind of a battle. We don't want to break them on defense. We don't want declare. Declare doesn't want to break them. But sometimes I find people break new suits too frequently on defense, and it helps declare. So we're going to talk through how to understand not to break a new suit, and just kind of stay with the plan of just letting declare rough. And then finally, in the Master Series, we're going to talk about advancing partners overcall. Modern overcalls, we're pretty aggressive to overcall, so we're going to talk about how to not get too high. We're also going to talk about what to do when they open and we overcall and they make a negative double, and how the game changes. We're going to talk about applying transfers after one of a major double there, although that'll just be a small section of the class. And we'll talk about strong jump shifts and just all sorts of stuff that modern experts that are complete, and everything I'm teaching is going to be completely expert standard in that class. Like, it's the stuff that I would play if I was sitting down and playing with any other expert, where we almost wouldn't have to discuss any of the things in the class, but a lot of it's going to be new for my students. Anyway, I'm really excited for these. I will continue teaching after that, but those are the first 10 classes. I'm really excited to share this, go into all these topics with you. They're all kind of things that have come up over the course of the last couple months. And thank you, and I hope to see you guys all in the classes.